Josh, I want to throw this image up. This is from the New York Magazine. It's kind of personal for me, actually. Throw up 94, image 94. The Cruel Kids Table is the way the headline reads. This is a cover piece for New York Magazine by Brock Collier, who is a trans journalist from the New York Magazine. I know this because Brock also applied for press credentials at the Turning Point ball, our inaugural Eve ball, and was there on the red carpet. There's pictures of our ball in this story. But, you know, the pushback is hilarious about this piece. But I think it's an interesting, and even the journalist in this piece, Josh, admits that we're winning, that we are culturally ascendant, that we are now dominating realms of culture that would have been hard to fathom just a few years ago. And I believe that they've cropped this picture to make it look more racist, like it's only white kids or something. There's a whole bunch of that going on here. But it's like, Josh, take this picture as just one instance. It's a bunch of young, successful, happy kids drinking at a trendy cocktail party. And you know, I guess if that's like cruel, celebrating the dawn of a new administration, a new America, you know, I guess, you know, cry harder, libs, as my, you know, instant reaction. What do you make of this? And what does this tell us?
Well, first of all, Andrew, I'm pretty sure they did do exactly that which you said they did, which is that they cropped out this photo, they edited it, they photoshopped it to make it look just more monolithically white than it is there. But, you know, I think a normal American looks at this photo, whether it's been photoshopped or cropped or edited or not, and says, oh, wow, these are a bunch of like pretty good-looking young people having a great time. They're dressed nicely there. They're clanking their glasses. They're saying cheers there. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing anything wrong with this picture, Andrew. I'm simply just not seeing anything. And I think what kind of the broader point is getting at here, this is a point that I've made actually for a few years now. I think this is part of the left's war on fun. I actually literally call it the war on fun. You know, whether it's trying to call you a scold for driving in a gas-guzzling pickup truck or an SUV, whether they're calling you a bad person for wanting to have numerous kids, you know, that whole be fruitful and multiply thing right there from the book of Genesis. God forbid you actually take God at his word and have 3, 4, 5, you know, God knows how many children who are going to consume oxygen and spit out carbon dioxide. You know, you're a very, very bad person. Like they definitely hate that, Andrew. You know, God forbid you actually teach your children about religion, about the Bible, about the things that actually built this country, about the founding fathers, about the Constitutional Convention. You can't have any of that either there. I mean, the left has become just these pearl-clutching bunch of overtly faux moralistic prima donnas. That's basically what they become there. And they hate looking at anyone who is more successful than them. That obviously gets back to kind of the roots of socialism and Marxism, is this whole idea of envy and class envy and individual envy. That's definitely part of this as well there. But they're just fundamentally just a bunch of of ragtag. And frankly, Andrew, if I'm just being very blunt for a second here, you know, I was looking at this rally on the eve of the inauguration, the left-wing rally there with kind of those pink hats, whatever, the Women's March stuff there on the National Mall. Bunch of ugly people. I mean, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that there, but like these are just typically, obviously there are exceptions, but a bunch of like very ugly people, honestly.
Josh, I mean, think about it, you know, and I think Matt Walsh made this point on Twitter. We like Matt a lot, and he had a great role to play in, you know, just that his film and so many other things. But what reads as left wing now, besides like a bunch of purple-haired, you know, nose-piercing, you know, many obese or at least overweight young people screaming about some injustice that they've invented in a college laboratory. I mean, literally, if young kids having fun, if young kids, you know, wearing a flannel and in the country, you know, listening to country music, whatever. I mean, we are the fun movement, and it's a very fascinating point, Josh. And I'll throw it back to you for 30 seconds to react. You know, it seemed like in 2008, this cultural ascendancy of the left promised all of these things, but failed to deliver. Instead, it delivered this dystopian, puritanical scolding, you know, from the left about these invented injustices. And this movement, I believe, can actually deliver on the promise of lifting everybody and having fun. Final reaction, Josh Hammer.
Well, you're totally right to take it back to 2008. I mean, that's where I started my cold Civil War is over op-ed too, because it does go back to Barack Obama and his 2008 campaign. Andrew, if the left is going to have any chance of recovering, and thank God it's not my problem, I'm a man of the right, obviously. But if the left is going to have any chance of recovering here, Andrew, they have to disavow the entirety of the Barack Obama legacy and his post-presidential legacy. They need to go back to the old Democratic Party of Bill Clinton and his predecessors who, whatever their flaws were, they were focused on bread and butter issues, not this woke crap.